Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video for Saw Crafters. And today I am going to be using some of her chipboard hearts. And you can see them here. They have these cute little bars across them. And I thought they would look so nice if I backed them with this Paige Evans Oh My Heart collection paper. And there's one paper in that paper stack that has all these squares, and it's just perfect for backing all these chipboard hearts. And the hearts are white here because I took a whole bunch of Saw Crafters products and spray painted them the other day, so it was kind of nice to have them already prepped and ready for me, ready to go. And so you can see here it's really simple. I just draw around the outside of the heart, and then when I go and cut these out, I will cut just along the inside of that line, so I don't have to erase my line or anything like that, and it's all going to fit just perfectly, and I can glue it on the back. And the picture I'm doing is of my two granddaughters, and it was at the oldest granddaughter's birthday party. She turned 3, and so I'm going to be doing a couple layouts from the birthday party. So this was just a cute picture I got of both her and her little sister together that I thought I would go ahead and make into a single layout. And I think I'm going to do some pocketed scrapbooking for the rest of her birthday party using some more of the Paige Evans collection. So for my background paper, I have a piece of watercolor paper that I've cut down to be 12 by 12, and I'm using some of the Shimmers products, and these are I think that was Pink Stiletto, and this one is Oh Say Can You See. And I sprayed some water first on the watercolor paper, and now I'm just using the packaging technique to put the colors down. And because I've already sprayed it with water, it kind of lets things move and pool a little bit more on the paper without having to put down gesso to get it to smear. The water kind of helps move it across the page and from soaking in instantly when you put the color on the page. And I'm just going to use mostly 3 colors on this layout: the kind of bluey green color, a pink color, and then a kind of yellow color. And that goes pretty well with my photo because the one granddaughter is wearing a blue outfit, the other one's wearing pink, and then there are some kind of a little green picnic table and sandbox that they're sitting in, so it picks up all the right colors out of the photograph. So there you can see I'm just did a bunch of splatters on there. I just did the packaging technique. I'm not actually going for anything specific here, just getting some colors on the page, and it's going to be pushed back in the background by the time I put everything else on top of it, so I'm not too concerned about what it looks like, just that I get all the colors on the page. And then I'm drying that with my heat gun and with a paper towel. And so I like those colors. And what I wanted to do was a little bit of stitching on the background paper. And so what I decided to do is to stitch a really big heart on the background. So I'm just taking my pencil and kind of figuring out what I want to do here and trying to get a somewhat even heart while drawing it freehand, because I didn't have a stencil that was that big of a heart. So I'm just kind of getting an idea, and then I'll go around it a couple times with my sewing machine, and that way, you know, if it's wonky a little bit, it's not gonna make too big of a difference. So you can see I'm just trimming the back threads off and putting a little bit of tape to keep that from unraveling, and then I'll trim the front off. And I use kind of a light blue thread to sew that down. And so now I have to figure out, I hadn't gone any further in my idea of what I was going to do design wise on this layout than this, just using these hearts, backing them, and sewing a large heart on the background paper. So that was about as far as I had kind of planned in my head. And there is my photograph of the two girls. So I'm just pulling out some papers from my 6x6 pad and some scraps that I had from a previous layout. I'm going to use those just to map my photo. So I picked some of that golden color just to go around it and make sure that that picture stays, you know, light and airy. And then I want a little bit of the green from, like I said, some of the play equipment in the background, and there's some trees in the background and they're all green color, and then some of this pink. So I'm just using my ATG until it runs out there to mat the photos. And I just went to my glue stick because my ATG gun, of course, ran out of adhesive during the video. So I'm liking that, and then I want to see, you know, do I want to cluster all the hearts right around the photograph? Do I want to put them around the perimeter of the heart, the sewn heart? Do I want to cascade them from corner to corner? And so I kind of like having more of them clustered around the photo to really bring your eye to that. And then I like having that kind of secondary cluster there down in the right hand corner. And so that's pretty much what I go with, and I just want to make sure I get the colors spread across the page like I want them. So this is kind of the design layout I'm going to go with. And I decided to bring a little thread in first, and I was going to use this yellow, but it just wasn't really the right kind of yellow, so I take it off and I think, well, I'll just use a little bit less of it, so I make a smaller bunch of thread, but I just really didn't like that color of yellow, so I went ahead and pulled out some pink out of my stash and decided to go with that instead, and I liked that. It was a little less in your face and it matched in a little better. And I also go into my stash and pull out, I debate between a green and a teal, and I kind of go more with this tealy blue color, except that I have the worst time trying to get the thread to release from the little catch in the side of the spool. I get my tweezers out and I'm trying to get that because it's like really stuck in there. So I struggle with this. I'm sorry I didn't edit this out. I thought I had edited it out, but you get to see me struggle here for a while. Finally I get my X-Acto knife and I make the little spot bigger, and then finally it comes out. So I just take a little bit of that teal and I'm going to put it under that heart and then down here in this bottom corner. And it just brings a little bit of, you know, organic feel to the layout, a little bit of softness. And then I'm using my Scotch Tacky glue to go ahead and glue those down. Since I do have ink on the background, I have sewing, I have the tangled thread, and so it's going to definitely need a little bit of wet glue to get that all adhered down. And then on the things that overlap, I'm just putting a little bit of this craft foam underneath to lift it up and make sure that that is all touching and gets adhered. So I'm just putting a little bit of craft foam behind my photograph as well. And then I have to remove a little bit just to make sure that that one heart can kind of poke down in there behind the photo. So this picture is just a cute one of them in the sandbox, and the party was a lot of fun. They actually had a small little pony come to the backyard, and all the little kids got to ride on it, and their cousins were there and friends. And so it was a really sweet party, and the cake had a unicorn on it. And so I'm going to have a lot of fun scrapbooking the other pictures from this party, but I thought I'd go ahead and start with this one. And now I'm just looking through some of the other Oh My Heart ephemera pieces. And so I'm picking out some of the florals. I think about that ampersand, but that doesn't make it on there. And I've used quite a few of those already, so I don't have too many left of the ephemera pieces. I used those two flowers. That third one had orange on it, and I didn't have any other orange on my layout so far, so I decided not to use that one. But there was a lot of nice puffy stickers, so I go ahead and use quite a few of these. And I just want some things on top of the chipboard hearts. just to kind of integrate everything and break up some of those lines. And I love that little bird, so I go ahead and put him down on top of that other heart. And then I think each of the other chipboard hearts all get something put on top of it. And now I look through, I wanted to put something, it seemed a little bare underneath my photo, so I have this piece of washi tape that I try to put down there, but that doesn't seem to work, so I set that aside to use later. And I wind up eventually putting a scalloped one of the puffy stickers down below there, and that helps a lot to integrate it. So I'm looking through the rest of the sticker book, not really finding too much that I want to use. I'm still debating as to what my title's going to be. There's a few more of the chipboard pieces. Pull out one of those yellow flowers to bring a touch of yellow down there, and that little chipboard heart. Then I decide to use this word love as my title, but I don't quite know where to situate it on the layout. And so finally it ends up, I think about putting it there, but I like it staying kind of in the line of embellishments that kind of go from the upper left to the bottom right hand corner. So I wind up pulling up that chipboard heart and just kind of nestling the word love down there. And I really like how that works. And there I put the puffy scalloped sticker underneath the photo, and that helps bring all the colors underneath there. And then that is pretty much my whole layout. However, I do want to mat this, and so I looked through my Oh My Heart papers and I wanted some pink, and I didn't have any of the pink papers left out of that collection. I've used them all already. So I find this kind of mustard yellow, but I just didn't like the way that looked. I kept trying it and I just really didn't like it. It seemed to kind of dull the whole thing down too much. So I go into my stash and I pull out this watercolor DCWV stack that I got at Tuesday Morning a while ago, and it has a nice kind of pink ombre paper in it. So I go ahead and pull that one out, and that's what I'm going to use as my background. So I'm just going to cut like 1/8 of an inch off of each edge of my layout, so there won't be a ton showing, but it'll be just enough to kind of frame the layout in. And I like that so much better, and I actually wind up turning the paper around so that the darker, heavier bit of pink is on the bottom. And so this is actually my finished layout. And if you have any questions on anything I did here, just leave me a comment down below. And if you're interested in the SAW Crafters product that I use, these cute little chipboard hearts, I will leave a link to them down below. And if you use the discount code AngelaFans on your order of $30 or more in her shop, you'll get a 10% discount off of your order. So I will leave that information in the description box below as well. And so thank you guys so much for watching. And again, if you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment down below, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye!